Thank you. My name is Megan Bauer. I am a resident of the Riverside neighborhood. And often when I tell people that, I get some looks, especially if you were, born and raised in Indy and you kind of know the demographics of the neighborhood. I don't fit into Riverside right now. I'm sort of an implant. I moved there in 2007. I bought the house in 2007, and when I did, I was 24 years old. And of course, I knew everything. Everything made sense. I had it all figured out, too. So I was going to move, knew where I was going to move, what I was going to do, and that just doesn't really work with my financial situation. So as I started to look, I worked for the Parks Department at the time, so I basically looked at where all the park systems sort of were the heaviest, and it was Riverside Park. You have the White River Greenway, you have the Canal Towpath, you have Riverside Park, which is 6 miles apart from 16th to 30th Street, and it just sort of made sense to me at the time. But it wasn't the kind of neighborhood that I thought I would saw myself in. Right now, I live in what formerly was an amusement park. I actually live in the site that the amusement park was in that closed down in the 60s, Riverside Park. So when I went there, I was going to make a difference, make a change, live right down from the IMA neighborhood. And I started to get involved in my community, and that's when I came across the Center of Wellness for Urban Women. CWU, as we like to call it, started in 2007 as well. And the whole mission of it was to help empower women. I'm a Girl Scout employee now, so it's right up my alley to get involved with them. But through 7 dimensions of wellness, I couldn't name them all right now, but one of them is environmental, spiritual, intellectual, occupational. And one of the founders of CWU, her grandmother owned a home in the Riverside neighborhood. Her name is Mary Crinchlow. And what's sort of happening in Riverside is happening all over Indy is a lot of houses are going abandoned. So you had this neighborhood that back in the day was this vital neighborhood. It was a huge park. Mayor Taggart sort of made this thing, the place, this huge park is monuments there. We had an amusement park, and you have IMA. I mean, my neighbors are poets. That's Crown Hill over there. I have $1 million paintings just a mile away. But people sort of frown upon the Riverside neighborhood now because it's. I have friends that, I don't want to go to your house, and I just said, no, the hood's there. I live hood adjacent. I'm just a little bit to the side of the hood. It's not that bad, but we have to sort of re-engage where we are. Miss Mary's Garden is sort of our way to do that. You can drive down any of the roads, 29th Street, and you'll see abandoned homes, but it's our way of taking back the abandoned homes. Where this house is, it would have been abandoned. After Miss Mary died, her granddaughter just couldn't take care of the home anymore. She was going away to law school, and essentially would have become abandoned. So instead of doing that, she leased it to us. And we said we would turn it into a space where it could be utilized. We don't have green thumbs. We don't really know what we're doing, but that's sort of the beauty of it. That's sort of that educational part of that. Our vision for Miss Mary's Garden is to make it a place where anyone can come. You can learn about social justice. You can learn about food safety. You can learn how to, sort of that type of place. The house we're trying is in somewhat disrepair right now, but we're going to try to make it eventually long-term a place where you can go in and take cooking lessons, or you can learn about the different herbs in the garden that we have. We're going to have art therapy there. We're going to have yoga, just sort of the full encompassing spiritual wellness aspect. It's also a babysitting place, apparently, which is all right with us. A lot of the local school kids come over at night when we're there. Every Thursday, we're there from 6 to 8 o'clock. This Thursday is our first working day, so we're going to be there, not necessarily working on, just kind of getting the beds ready. But there will be Asia and her brothers will be there, and they'll be wondering where we've been, hopefully not spraying all the plants with the hose. But they helped us paint the pathway. It's very much a neighborhood garden, and that's sort of where the name of Miss Mary came from. When CWU's not, I'm the only one from Riverside right now, so when the women from CWU, we came over there, it's a very close-knit neighborhood. If you were born in Riverside, you lived in Riverside, most of the neighbors are from there. So they started asking questions. What are they doing? Why are they poking around in Miss Mary's house? Well, Miss Mary that. And we had no idea. We just knew Esther, her granddaughter. And so we kept hearing about Miss Mary, and then finally we said, well, what's this? Oh, this is Miss Mary's house. You guys are in Miss Mary's house. Even though Miss Mary passed in 2007, it was her house, and it still is her house. So to honor Miss Mary, we named it Miss Mary's Garden. She actually ran a lunch cupboard over on Indiana Avenue, so she was very well known in the community, and she was also a transplant from Mississippi to the area. So we have a lot of great work to do. Hopefully, we'll continue. The concept behind this is that we'll go to different neighborhoods, find an abandoned house and sort of have a similar concept, sort of kind of take back the neighborhood. And that's one of the beauties of just how we do this with Siwu. We just sort of make it up as we go. Everyone has an opinion. There really is no hierarchy. Rhonda Bayless is our executive director, but we're just trying to do the best we can. As long as we keep doing the next right thing, we're doing the right thing, we feel like. So that's sort of our story with Siwu. And if you ever have Thursday free, we're over on Bond Street from 6 to 8. Thanks.